Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you my Atari 2600 loose cartridge collection of my first party games by Atari or Sears. I don't have a lot of space, so this actually helps me out by having loose cartridges rather than complete, although I do have some complete cartridges as well. I keep these all in a pair of repurposed Amazon boxes, and I put each game in a Walmart snack size bag to help protect them and to let me know that I've already cleaned and tested them as well. So let's go ahead and get to the collection. First up, we have Adventure, a true classic game and one of my favorites. And yes, these are typically in alphabetical order. And don't worry about that one, it's just Air Sea Battle. Next, I have Alpha Beam with Ernie. Then we have the classic Asteroids. Next up is Atari Video Cube and Rubik's Cube, which is the same game but with the Rubik's license. Then I have Backgammon, pretty fun paddle game. And I have Basic Math. Backgammon I haven't reviewed. One of my goals is to review all the first party games, like Basic Programming, which I have the overlays for somewhere else. And Basketball, that's one I have covered. Pretty fun early sports title. Then we have Battlezone, which was a solid arcade conversion that took some liberties. And Berserk, another good arcade conversion. Then we have Big Bird's Egg Catch. These Sesame Street games use the kids' touchpad. And then Blackjack, which also uses the paddle controllers. That's another game I need to review. Now we have Bowling. The previous owner had a sticker with game variations on the back. And then Brain Games, which uses a touchpad. And Breakout, a fun paddle game. And then Canyon Bomber, that's another paddle game I need to review. And Casino, another paddle game I need to review. And then there's Centipede, a true classic. Championship Soccer, which was also named Pele Soccer. I actually think I like the Pele version name better. It's the same game, so it doesn't really matter. And then Circus Atari, one of the best paddle games of all time. And Code Breaker. How about Combat? Every 2600 owner has about a dozen of those. And Cookie Monster Crunch. I think it's Crunch. And Crazy Climber. That's one of the rare games for the 2600 that was made by Atari. And Crossbow. It was originally a light gun game, but I don't believe this version is a light gun. It uses a light gun. And then Crystal Castles. There was Sentinel, which I don't have, that uses a light gun. But I think that's the only light gun game. Dark Chambers. These red label cartridges came out late in the life. Oh, there it is again. Then Defender, which I loved as a kid, but the flicker really bothers me today. Demons to Diamonds, that uses the paddle controllers. Desert Falcon. Dig Dug, a solid arcade conversion. Dodge 'em, a lot of the silver label games, if they're arcade conversions, are pretty good usually. And Double Dunk, that's a game I haven't reviewed. I need to try that out sometime. E.T., I don't care what you say, I actually kind of like E.T. And Flag Capture, I don't think I like Flag Capture. Football, which I'll need to get one of my kids to try out. It's a 2-player only game. And Galaxian, pretty good conversion. Next we have Concentration, which is also called Hunt and Score. I actually think it's called A Game of Concentration is the full name. It's not just Concentration. Golf, which I think ripped off the Odyssey 2 golf game, computer golf. And Gravatar, which was also previously released as a silver label release that's harder to find. Then Gremlins, there's another somewhat hard to find game. And Hangman. Then we have Haunted House. And Home Run. And then Human Cannonball. And Indy 500, which is, I think, the only game they release that uses a driving controller. There's Race, that's the Sears Telegames version of Indy 500. Then Joust. Yes, another solid arcade conversion. And Junior Pac-Man, which was a really decent Pac-Man game. And Jungle Hunt, another solid arcade conversion. And Kangaroo, another solid Silver Label arcade conversion. And Kroll, which is based on the movie of the same name. And Mario Brothers, which, yes, it was another good conversion. Then we have Math Grand Prix, which combined like a board game and edutainment kind of title. Maze Craze, that's one I haven't reviewed yet. Midnight Magic, good solid pinball game. Millipede, which I actually like better than Centipede, even though Centipede is fun. And Miniature Golf. Then finally we have Missile Command, a true classic for box number 1. Oh, there's one more I forgot. Moon Patrol. All right, here we are, box number 2. The first game was Ms. Pac-Man. And Night Driver, another paddle game. Then we have Othello and Outlaw, along with the Sears counterpart, which is Gunslinger. I'm okay if I have a text label, but I do like the picture labels better. And Pac-Man. And Pango, which has a terrible label, but the game itself is somewhat hard to find. Then we have Phoenix, another solid arcade conversion. Pigs in Space. I think I'm legally required to say it that way. And Pole Position. It's not the Pole Position mislabeled or misspelled label. I wouldn't mind that version. And Quadron, one of the hardest games to find. It's missing its end label. The front label is a little rough, but it's still pretty good just to have it in the collection, along with Radar Lock, which is another game I haven't really played much. Raiders of the Lost Ark. One day I want to beat that game. I never have. Real Sports Baseball. Now we're in the Real Sports line. Next is Real Sports Boxing. So these came in the mid-'80s and a couple in the late 80s. Real Sports Football. Real Sports Soccer, terrible label. That was also called Real Sports Football in Europe, I believe. Real Sports Tennis. Real Sports Volleyball, which is a phenomenal sport game. Roadrunner, pretty fun conversion. Secret Quest, I keep getting requests to review that game. I'll try it someday. Skydiver, I have played a little bit of Secret Quest, and this is Darediver, which is Skydiver under the Sears name. Then we have Slots, which is also known as Slot Machine, which I just reviewed. Slot Machine is floating around somewhere. And then Slot Racers, which is the sequel to Slots. I'm just kidding, no relation. Then Snoopy and the Red Baron, which is a pretty fun little game. And Solaris, a lot of fans of Solaris out there, and that is a really good game. Sorcerer's Apprentice, another one of those kind of kid games. The kid games are typically, as you expect, kind of easy, but they often had good graphics. Space Invaders and some good gameplay too. I have the red label of Space Invaders because I liked it. There's also a silver label of Space Invaders. Then we have Space War, which I don't think I reviewed yet. And this is Space Combat. I like that label too. That's Space War, except under the Sears name. And then Sprint Master, which reuses pole position art. And Star Raiders, which of course I have a touchpad somewhere for that. And Starship, it's an early 2600 game that honestly doesn't hold up well. Stargate, which was released later, red label as Defender 2, same game. Street Racer, a PAL control game. Super Baseball, I'm actually working on a review of that right now. Super Breakout, one of the best paddle games out there. Super Football, I've covered that in the past. Superman, which is, I enjoy Superman. A lot of people, if you just pick it up, won't know how to play it, but it's good. And then Surround, there's the text label, and I also have picture label. And then Sword Quest Earth World, and guess what's coming up next? Sword Quest Fire World, and one of the rarest games, the only one I have in a fancy smanchy container, Sword Quest Water World. Then we have Taz, which was released in Europe as Asterix. In Canada, I believe, there's a rare North American version. 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. Track and Field, I reviewed that probably within the last year or so. It's actually a pretty good conversion. Vanguard. Video Checkers. When you bring up Vanguard, a lot of people think of the commercial that Video Chess, was it Luther gets the gong or something like that? I can't remember. Video Olympics, which is a paddle game, which was released under the sports, as Pong Sports under the Sears telegames. That's the Sears version there. Video Pinball, we're coming to the end. Warlords, another great paddle game. That's one of the best multiplayer paddle games, if not the best multiplayer. Xenophobe, love that artwork. Yar's Revenge. And then we have the Sears exclusives, the Steeplechase, which is like a horse racing paddle game. We also have Stellar Track, which is like a Star Trek type text game. I really want to learn how to play that. And then, last but not least, Submarine Commander. So there you go. That's roughly about 120 games in my collection. I am missing a few. There are a couple that I have complete. I do have Moto Rodeo and Off the Wall complete, so they're in a different area. I think I have Oscar as an Oscar the Grouch Trash Race. I think I have that. Somewhere else with my kid's touchpad. I am still looking for Atari Warriors. That's a game I need to reacquire. I wouldn't mind getting Asterix, even though Taz is the same. And then I think Sentinel, the light gun game, is one of the other few first party games I need to acquire. So that's my Atari 2600 first party loose cartridge collection. I might do a follow-up where I go over like third party games or something like that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.